That's between you, your assistant.
Just make sure you all have not ever fought in a duel.
Because
that's part of
We're
the-
gonna have any ideas coming up.
Darn it.
Part of
If you have, now's your
swearing in.
chance to leave.
All right, everyone, we are live.
All right, Michelle.
We'll call a meeting to order at 5:32. And issue the oath of offices.
Okay. Okay, let's see, who's first?
Whoever you want to do. Angela, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay. Want to stand and make it official?
Sure.
All right, afterwards I'll have you sign.
Okay.
So Angela, do you solemnly swear or affirm, as the case may be, that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of this Commonwealth, Kentucky, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and so long as you continue a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully execute to the best of your ability the office of trustee of the Trumbull County Public Library according to law, and do solemnly swear or affirm that since the adoption of the present Constitution, you, being a citizen of this state, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within the state, nor out of it, nor have you sent or accepted the challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have you acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending. So help you God. Yes, you do. Okay, sign here, and you're good.
You probably should put that on our board application.
Yeah.
Do not apply.
It could
Just
happen.
sign and I'll do the rest.
Okay.
Cracks me up.
I wonder why they don't think it's necessary to update it with that.
Yeah.
It's the same way for a notary public.
It is. Yeah. There you go.
I don't know if it's a tradition that they just
And
don't
we'll
do
do
change.
It's a cool running joke.
Bethany.
I don't know if it matters that Bethany's with an I.
Okay, I will
I
make
don't know if
sure.
it matters,
I'll
but
make sure.
Sorry.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
Bethany,
No, we wanna
except
make
for
it
like
right.
the
It might
records.
come down to Bob.
Exactly.
Okay.
I figured if the duel mattered, might as
Yeah,
well.
the dual or the whatever.
Yeah.
I and the Y.
That's
would.
right, and I mean, problem.
Okay, I solemnly swear or affirm, as the case may be, that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so long as you continue a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully execute to the best of your ability the office of trustee of the Trumbull County Public Library, according to law. And do you further solemnly swear or affirm that since the adoption of the present Constitution, you, being citizen of the state, have not fought a duel with deadly weapon within the state nor out of it, nor have you sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have you acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aiding or assisting any person there thus offending, so help you God. Okay. Well, that sounds serious.
That is.
Okay, and there, if you'll just sign for me and I'll go notarize them and get you a copy, okay?
Thanks, Betsy, for
No
saying.
problem.
That's on the day for you.
No, official.
Did everybody get a chance to meet each other? Do you guys know all?
No.
Do you want to introduce everybody?
Hannah Edwards.
I'm Bethany Johnson.
Pam Watson.
Michelle Griffith, Angela Anderson.
Dudley Lush.
Again, I'm Dina Rottenborn, so. Do you want to go ahead then?
Sure. Need an approval of the minutes for the June 2021 meeting. Were you here?
I will, yeah. I was here.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we, I didn't know that you wanted to let everybody read it, but I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for June 17th.
I'll second. All in favor?
All right.
Motion is needed to approve the checklist and financial statements for June 2021. Are there any questions about it? The new members, the first list is the checks that have been cashed. It's about 3 or 4 pages long, and then you get into your bank statement, what your accountant sheet looks like, how much we have in checking, equity, and then the following pages are your total revenues and where they come from, expenses, and where those come from in each line item. Budget remaining is that last column. That's kind of the column you want to keep an eye on when you're looking at these pages to make sure we're not going over budget in any line items or any brackets. I think the last page is outstanding checks that have not been cashed.
Just curious, do we have a statement on our checks that says not good after 90 days or 120 days or anything at all?
I'll have to check. I thought that was a bank standard, like after 90 days it was void. but I don't
Usually there's
know.
a sentence on the check, isn't there? Yeah.
It's 6 months. They're considered stale check after 6 months.
Yeah,
This is
so we had to-
February when,
So if we wanted it, you see one from February?
yeah, ADT
ADT.
for February, which will be August, would be 6 months.
In March, there's one in March.
Yeah.
It's 25 hours.
Our,
It's the very
Yeah,
last,
the
very last
outstanding.
page.
Our alarm system changed companies. We went from Alliant to ADT. So this is a new company and I haven't had any other correspondence with them. So I will look, I'll reach out to them and see what's going on. And then Team Zoom, I don't even really remember what program that was. That was put back in March. That was a deposit, actually.
Did we
for a
have to-
summer reading program?
Oh,
I
okay.
tell you, it's easier for the bank to let them go through now because everything's done electronically. That people don't sit and look at every check like we used to. So if we didn't want them paid, we probably should stop them or something. Just stop paying them.
Yeah, let me
Or
check in
even
on
she
these
was-
ones. I'll ask Kelly what we need to do with Kelly Gamble is our accountant. And the process is I will request, I'll approve an invoice, send it to him. He cuts the checks, sends the checks back, and then we have two people sign them. I approve to sign, and then we have 4 or 5 other signers of board members. So we have a pretty, I think, a really good system in place for accounting. Double checks everybody.
I'll make a motion to approve the checklist and financial statement. If nobody has any questions.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the audit, Grandma Lackley.
I got an email from our auditor today. Evelyn Ackley has been doing an audit for the last probably 6 or 7 years. And is this, do you want to stay with them or do you want me to bid out another auditor? I really like working with them.
Did their rates stay the same?
They've not raised their fees.
They charge us $200 extra this year because there was so much extra stuff. We changed accountants. He did not make it very easy to change. And so there was some reports that we had to go back in and hand enter information. And so I'm guessing that that was the $200 extra,
Okay, so it should be around about the same.
about $5,000. so. You guys okay with that? Seems crazy that we're already talking about audits, doesn't it?
I feel like we just finished it. I just finished reading that
I
lovely
know.
document. Right, the 2021, 22 tax rates.
Did everybody get all that information? I want to make sure that everybody has the information before we,
This is what the state recommends on the compensating rate and the 4% increase. These are just recommendations. You don't have to adopt these. And then it looks like Dina has another page in the agenda she had here today.
so I think it kind of helps looking at last year's rates and what we did and where assessments came in. So for the 2020 tax rates last year, our real property was assessed at little over 560 million. And then the tangible personal property was over 103, motor vehicle was 65 million. And the taxes levied is next to the assessment. And I believe we lowered all of our taxes last year a little bit.
We can't lower motor vehicle or maintain it. But
Yeah,
we did lower real property. I can't remember on tangible, but we definitely lowered real property. To, I think it was
Yeah.
11.9 to 11.7.
mhm. It wasn't a lot, but we did lower. So we budgeted for 372,000 income in real property, and actual income was almost 400,000. Tangible personal property, we budgeted 215,000, and we it came in at over 253,000. And motor vehicle, I think we got some budgeting things crossed because we also tax watercraft. And I think that watercraft amount was in the budgeted amount. It should have been up into the tangible property amount. So we're off last year with motor vehicle income, and we budgeted the same thing for this next year. So we're gonna be off there too, but it's not really a big deal. It's not a huge amount of money there. So for 2021, this is the compensating rate. Basically, the Kentucky Department of Library Archives. They have this crazy formula. I don't understand it. I don't know where they take this county's property assessment, look at the numbers, plug them into some magic formula and give a recommendation. And this is what you need to bring in the same, this is the rate you need to adopt to bring in the same amount of money as last year and maybe a little bit more to compensate for increase of costs. So every year that I've been here, they've tried to recommended to increase our tax rates, and we've either stayed the same or lowered them, and we still brought in excess income, like more than 10 to 15% than
We
what
averaged
we.
40 to 60,000 over our budget.
And like this year was, we had $160,000 left in our budget this year. So I know the board is very interested in raising those or lowering those taxes. So we're gonna talk about that today. My recommendations are below that. I wouldn't go below these tax rates, these recommended tax rates. So for real property, I wouldn't go over 11 cents per hundred. For tangible property, I wouldn't go below 12.5 cents per hundred. And of course, motor vehicle would stay the same. And that is the projected income for those rates. For real property at 11 cents per hundred, you'd get projected about 586,000. For tangible property income, it would be 125,000. And here, I can't get an answer out of anybody from the library, KDLA, or the state. Every year, we have a problem with this number, this tangible personal property number. We budget it 250, like high, and we bring in this high amount of income. But when they say, when they do their number, it says, we're only gonna bring in $125,000 if we do a tax rate of 12.5. According to and I think because there's optional taxes. Did everybody get the sheet? Did you get that sheet in your packet? Is it in your packet? No. Okay. We have optional taxes too that we can choose to tax or not. So aircraft, there's an aircraft tax, a watercraft tax, and an in-transit inventory tax. And those three combined are all taxed at that tangible personal property. And I think because they're optional taxes, it's not calculated into this formula that KDLA used. This is my opinion. I don't know if I'm right or not, but I think that's why there's such a big difference between what we, their numbers and what we think we're gonna bring in.
We do opt to tax those things, those optional taxes. We
The
do opt
last 2 years we have, yes. So, and the watercraft tax, we didn't think was gonna be that big of a deal, and it brought in over $40,000 this year statewide. So it must be a commercial tax, so that's statewide.
So where are you saying the optional tax is falling in the tangible?
Mhm.
Not in other?
And that's where I think we're getting hung up on with our budget and everything.
And so what is other than?
Yeah, what is?
So
other?
other taxes are gonna be our telecom tax, and there's some other little small, I think also our delinquent property taxes are why they separate those out from property tax and counted as other, I don't know.
In our financial reports, the other taxes year to date is 253,436. What are they putting in that line item?
And that's tangible. That's where we're trying to fix this out, to fix it with our accountant.
Okay, because it is a
It's
lot, it's
tangible.
very low intangible,
Yeah.
so it needs to be intangible,
Yep.
but they're showing it.
Yeah.
So that's an account error. Okay.
Yeah.
So where would RV stop?
RVs.
Even if they're hitched, you think?
Oh,
I think it is. I think
I would
The back fifth wheel?
Yeah, you're saying if they're not motorized, where would they go?
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a,
Tangible personal property.
Probably tangible.
And the ones that are motorized would be under.
Motor vehicle.
right. I know it's very confusing, especially if this is the first time you're.
This is not a first board meeting to jump into.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
the-
a tough one. It really
The
is.
toughest decision we make all year. Congratulations.
I will say, Hannah's leaving, so she's like, woo, we can lower taxes and I'm gone. I will say we are very solvent. We have, if we didn't get an ounce of money in for the next 2 years, we would be able to operate this place at capacity, keep all of our staff, keep all of our spending for 2 years. So we've been very conservative and very diligent about keeping the library funded and saving and preparing for projects and things like that. So if we screw up and, our tax income really comes in low, we're not gonna suffer. But I think that it will give our community a sense of, hey, and you guys are the ones that have to bear the burden of that, of setting this tax rate. So it's not really me. I don't have a vote in this. I can just make recommendations. And I know that you guys, at least the former board members that were here, and Hannah and Michelle have expressed a concern about our tax rates and keeping those low. I will say that the reason why we're bringing in more money is not because we're raising taxes, it's because our property, the assessments are raising. Every year, it's just, yeah. From 2015 to the current year, they've raised over $33 million in Trimble County, even though our population is decreasing.
That comes from PBA, right?
Any thoughts?
Well, I feel like the recommendations have been good and valid recommendations, and in the past, everything that you've suggested and we voted on and approved has worked out. So I would say that it would be well to approve it as you have stated it.
Make a motion to adopt the 21 rates recommended by the director of 11, 12.5 and 4.
Are you board members okay with that?
Who seconded? I'm sorry.
And
Okay, so I'm gonna fill out this paperwork while we're here so that I make sure that we've got signatures and everything, so. So I'm just gonna have you sign it. So I wanna make sure I don't have to. You need a president and a secretary signature on this one. This is our motor vehicle rate, Michelle, or Hannah, so I just, right there where that tag is. Then at the signature line right here, this just says all of our property and everything, and you do we want to go ahead and opt in for the optional taxes as well? The watercraft
Is that what you
documented,
said we did last year?
I'm afraid if we took, didn't, that would like really
Yeah. I
Cut
think
into
that
it.
would be- Yeah.
just at the bottom of the signature. Now I'll fill in the rest of that there. Right.
Public comments, Mr. Lush.
Do with it.
Said you're up.
Do you want to introduce yourself to the
Oh,
board and just?
okay. Let me stand up here. Well, my name is Dudley. I use the middle initial T, Dudley T. Lush. I moved here in 91 from Louisville because of a job transfer in Carrollton. And since I've been here, I'm used to the big city. This place just, I love it. Everybody says hi, everybody's your friend. And I've been looking for different ways to maybe get involved in the community, and it just never really came about, being busy and everything. And Dina asked me about this, and I thought, now is the time to get my foot in the door. So I just thought I'd come by and see how maybe I'm getting into something I shouldn't be in or don't know about, which I still don't, but anyway.
Neither do.
But, okay, but I'm just, I think I'm gonna give it a try, I really do. Because I want to get out and get more into the community. I'm involved in the Apple Festival, not in the director part of it, but I have booths and stuff in there. And I'm involved in the Oldham County Fair that they have, the booths and stuff and everything but being involved, if you know what I mean. So I thought
And do you want to tell them your work history a little bit? about that?
all I've ever done my whole life is I started out building houses. I guess I got good at it because the boss put me on building bridges, which 2 and 3 year jobs. And then I got a job at a chemical plant in Carrollton through the company I work for, being their maintenance supervisor. I was there 35 years. Just being the supervisor for a company I don't even work for. They say that's unheard of. But, and I retired, and so here I am. But construction, not much on electric, not much on plumbing, but if you want a building built, I'm your guy. You know, we just went out there and looked, and that's what I do, that kind of stuff out there.
Yeah.
And I can do little things, fix doors and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
So I think just with the building is aging, and I think it would be great to have a perspective to say, come in and we're dealing with this, can you help? But if not, if the board appointment doesn't happen, hopefully we can still count on you to come in and
sure,
do
that's
little
no
odd jobs
problem.
we pay, and that's the thing, we would lose that, we
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to pay him as a, to do jobs, and definitely wouldn't want you to work for free.
If
on
I
that, so.
can't fix it, I can get it fixed for you. That was my main job.
Yeah.
But at one time I had 66 guys under me, so I pretty well had somebody that could fix anything that broke.
That's great.
So,
Yeah, he also built our little free library out here, a replica of the building, so,
That is so cool.
yeah.
yeah, I
That's
built
very,
that.
very good.
I got a little shop, so anybody needs anything.
We just
That's great.
really appreciate him and his wife, Trish. They're just great supporters of the library, and so I would highly recommend him as a board member, but that's not completely up to me, so,
Yeah,
but.
well, I'll get my application to you.
So I think they're gonna discuss board appointments. And they're gonna discuss board of we have 2 more positions to
Okay,
fill, and they
okay.
have to go to closed
Mhm.
session. You are welcome to stay if you would like, and then come back in the room, or
Oh.
if you need to leave, you're welcome to leave.
I don't have to leave. And if,
Okay.
I mean, do you want me to leave while y'all talk?
It is closed session, so we have to,
Oh,
it has to
okay.
be just,
Closed session.
yeah, it's not open to the
Well, I'll
public.
leave. and
But
then-
we'll holler at you. We're
Okay,
done.
all right,
Take off.
that'll work.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Dudley.
So we do need to go to a closed session to talk about this. Julianne, can you pause the meeting or stop it?